This is a Kirkendall Barrett presentation, darling.
Dad is dead. There is a dog.
You bought strawberries. Who do you think you are?
You buy homemade bread?
What are you, QAnon?
What makes him happy?
Not being in this movie?
Not being in this movie.
A lifetime of Hallmark.
Well, hello, everybody. It is your favorite day of the week. It is time for another episode of A Lifetime of Hallmark, where we talk about your favorite movies on both Lifetime and the Hallmark Channel and try to make sense of them. I am Les Kirkendall Barrett. Hello, Jason Bowers.
Hello, and Happy New Year, Les Kirkendall Barrett.
That's right. Happy New Year. And hello and Happy New Year to you, Kurt Fitzpatrick.
And hello and Happy New Year to you, Les Kirkendall Barrett and Jason Bowers.
And we are starting off the new year with a guest. Woo! And this is someone from, and I'm not just saying this, she is from my favorite podcast. Now, you all know that I am a soap opera fanatic, and it is my pleasure to have from Daytime Confidential, Jillian Bowe. Welcome.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, welcome.
Happy New Year to everyone.
Same to you.
So Jillian, why don't you tell us a little bit about your podcast?
Well, I've been on the Daytime Confidential podcast since I was a wee little lad. We discuss what's going on in daytime with daytime dramas, talk shows, game shows, the behind the scenes with all of them, and also give our opinions on what's going on with the current state of daytime and the current storylines with them as well.
Great. Yeah. And it is, check it out. It is a wonderful podcast. And actually, if it wasn't for me listening to that podcast, we wouldn't have this one. So you can blame me.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So we have a lot to unpack with this movie.
Yeah, I think we should
in Salem.
Yeah, we should tell everyone why we have a soap person on this Lifetime and Hallmark podcast, Les.
So normally we talk about movies on Lifetime and the Hallmark Channel, but Peacock took a stab at a little Christmas special of their own. And so what they did is, you're all familiar with Days of Our Lives, right? One of my favorite soaps. Mm-hmm. Well, Days of Our Lives did their own little Christmas movie. And, well, okay, you know what? I'm going to preface it with this. Okay. And Jillian, I would love your opinion on this, too. So, a few months ago, Days of Our Lives did like a little mini series called Beyond Salem. And it was basically, it was a standalone story, but some of the storylines actually are kind of continuing on now. But it was a standalone story where it was set up so that if you've never seen Days of Our Lives, a day in your life, you could still watch it and you could still get what's going on. This one, not so much.
Well,
what do you think, Jillian?
No, this one was just pure fantasy. The only elements they had in this one was Sunny and Will being in, where are they? Phoenix, and Sunny kind of tried to like reprise their drag roles from Beyond Salem. Other than that, no, he kind of did he just kind of flipped the script. If these couples, if this happens, and Christmas Miracle and all that good stuff with Hallmark does.
And I was wondering about that as somebody that hasn't watched Days in decades, so I don't know who most of these characters are. I didn't know what was going on, but I had read some stuff that what goes on in this movie has nothing to do with the rest of what's going on in the show in reality. And so I was kind of wondering, who the hell is this for?
Well, I don't watch the show, and I have to say that I was really not interested in seeing this. But when I was watching it, I got so invested in these characters that I actually have been watching the show ever since.
No way. Are you watching Days of Our Lives?
No, I'm not watching the show.
Oh.
It was my first acting performance of the year.
Okay, well, kudos.
Oh, good.
But
A Golden Globe for me.
But yeah, and so because I was getting texts, Jillian, like, what are you making me watch? And then I was like, oh damn it, we should have watched Beyond Salem, because that was like, for me, I got all the jokes because I watched the show.
Right.
There were jokes.
Like, like the throwaway line of the guy of Will going, well, I tried to use the excuse of my grandmother being possessed by the devil. She was possessed.
Yeah, well,
by the devil.
I knew about that one.
Yeah.
I didn't see that storyline, but I did know that about Marlena.
Right.
I kind of assumed that his grandmother was possessed by the devil, so yeah.
Oh, you know what, Jillian? So Jason actually had a little role on General Hospital and shared camera time with Jackee Zeman and Tamara Braun.
This is true.
Really?
This is true, yes.
Okay, well, spill it, honey. How'd that go down, and what did you
See,
it
crosses people in certain circles.
Whenever
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Whenever Kurt and Les bring this up, it always makes it sound like I had some sort of huge role on the show. I literally had like a line or two of dialogue where I was just a courier delivering a package to Carly.
But I'm like, you're talking to Bobby and Carly.
Well, I did, because I did watch General Hospital growing up. My mom watched it, then I watched it a little bit into teendom, and so I knew who she was, and I knew who the character of Carly was. But I think this might have been the second or third Carly. I don't know how many. How many Carlys are there?
There were four.
Four
that would've been
Carlys.
Carly? They've had.
Because it was Sarah Brown.
They had four, but we don't talk about that other one.
Oh yeah, that's right. The bad Carly.
Yeah, it's three. Let's just say it's three.
Yeah,
Okay.
like the stunt Carly, we'll call her.
Ooh, rash.
One didn't last too long.
Well, it wasn't really. She never popped. She didn't have chemistry with the doorknob. So, yeah, she was on for a few months, and then Laura Wright graciously saved us from that.
Yes.
Okay. So what they do on these shows, they just have different actors playing the same character? Like the actor will disappear and the character will just stay on the show?
If you leave to go and do other things, or if they fire you, the show doesn't stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they just hire someone else to do it.
Yeah, it's like if you work in an office and you're like the receptionist and you leave that job, be it temporarily or permanently, they still have to have a receptionist.
Right.
I mean, think of it like Darren on Bewitched.
Yes.
Like,
That doesn't happen too often.
On soap operas it does.
Very
Soap
common
operas,
soaps.
apparently, yeah.
It's
Not
like Broadway in that
prime
way.
time shows. What's that?
It's like Broadway in that way. They'll even have understudies.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. Like there's news today, like on Young and the Restless. But what's his name? Josh from Guiding Light is going to be on there now.
Yeah. Everybody got to eat.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Les is in all his glory. He
I
can
know.
talk. He's got someone to talk to about these soap operas.
Right. But before
I don't know
we
what's going
continue on, Kurt,
Oh,
do we have any Blac Chyna news?
Doing a piece of China.
China.
I'm talking China.
Blac Chyna report. Here's Kurt Fitzpatrick.
yeah. This is from RadarOnline.com. It's from a couple days ago. Here we go. Blac Chyna calls off nasty feud with mom Tokyo Toni as she prepares to face off with ex Rob Kardashian in court. On Tuesday, Chyna posted a video of her at home with Toni playing a game together. In the short clip, the 33-year-old model and her former club promoter mother were all smiles. The reunion is interesting given their wild past. The two have had quite a rocky relationship. Back in 2019, Chyna and Toni got into an explosive fight on Chyna's Zeus TV reality show. In one scene, Chyna threw a chair at her mother after she called her bipolar. The pair had to be physically restrained while they hurled insults at each other. The two even sat down for therapy on the show, but that ended up with security being called. Chyna said on camera, "She's evil as shit to me." Same year, The same year, Tony sat down for an interview where she said Chyna's kids should live with their fathers, Tyga and Rob. Tony said, I don't think anything is wrong with children going with their dads until their mothers get better. It happens in everyday homes. I don't know if they should keep them, but I do believe them for a little while. Keep them for a little while till she pulls her thing together, because it's clear, very clear, something's terribly wrong. Earlier this year, Chyna's mom reportedly called her out after she made allegedly transphobic remarks on social media. Chyna could need all the support given she's preparing for war with her ex, Rob, and his family. The two are set to face off this year in a trial over assault allegations. Rob is suing Chyna over an alleged assault that went down in December 2016 in Kylie Jenner's house. He claims his ex tried to strangle him with an iPhone cord and attacked him with a 6-foot metal pole. Chyna denies the assault, claiming her actions were done in self-defense. So we could say, we could end the article there. Yeah, there's definitely some court news happening also here. So it's very exciting times.
Chyna fan?
Oh, well, this came about because I mentioned Blac Chyna, and Kurt thought that I was making the name up.
No.
Blac Chyna is real.
I just, because we have been trying to figure out when exactly this started. I pinpointed the episode over the holiday break. We did a mini-sode talking all about the college admissions scandal and Lori Loughlin, and you had mentioned Blac Chyna there. So that's where we started doing the Blac Chyna report, was in that episode.
Yeah, I didn't know when it started. I don't have a memory of when this started, but ever since then, I've been doing a Blac Chyna report on every single episode. I don't think we've ever missed one. There's always news. There's like a wealth of information with this woman. And
this story about the iPhone cord, Jillian, we have discovered that every time that piece of information is regurgitated, it somehow gets more violent than the time before. Like, for instance, was it a 6-foot pole before you read the story today?
Yeah,
okay.
it's growing.
That girl is like barely 5 foot, so I'm trying to do the math in my head on that. I'm like,
yeah, that's like a javelin.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. She's like running with a javelin after this poor guy.
We've seen Rob, like, no shade, Rob, but you ain't miss a meal, so I can't sit there.
But it's going to take him a while to get out of the way.
I can't see him just sitting there letting Chyna just listen. Full disclosure, I watched their little television show.
Jeez.
Rob is no. Rob, let's just put it this way. Rob is no shrinking guy. You get what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, Rob is no punk. I don't see Rob just sitting there letting her assault him. I mean, that girl is from DC. DC girls are kind of yeah, but
wait, what do you mean? What's that mean? DC girls are
DC.
Are we allowed to say it?
You can't mess with DC girls.
Yeah.
They will handle you.
Well, okay, so how about DC girls versus Philly girls?
Oh, well, see, I don't know. That's the Clash of the Titans right there. Titans right there, because I've heard about Philly girls.
Because I grew up outside of Philly.
Yeah.
I lived in Philly also for a couple of years, so yeah.
Yeah, so that's the Clash of the Titans. I don't know. If I'm next to a DC girl, I'll probably say, you got this. If I'm with a Philly girl, you got this. I love my life. So, but, I don't see Rob.
We have to be careful what we say.
Yeah, I don't see Rob just sitting there. And I've seen him and Chyna back and forth on that show. Rob doesn't just sit there. You get what I'm saying? Like, this has just become so nasty over, I think, a bruised ego. Rob is still nursing that bruised ego that she left him, and she's made something of her life, and he just stays in the house all day.
And I think this is about money, too. I mean, Chyna's suing because her show was canceled, claiming that the Kardashians put an end to it. But it's like, if she were bringing in the viewers, the network would have kept the show no matter what Kris Jenner said.
I mean, from what I understand, they did bring in the eyeballs. They did, but again, Rob gave Chyna access to emails, and she found out that the family were not going to promote it. They were going to try to slowly kill it.
Oh, wait, so you really did have proof that they were going to do this?
Yeah, Kylie and Chloe were messaging back and forth, and they were like, "We're not going to support this. We can't."
Wow.
And, yeah. I mean, how else is she going to get at Rob? Like, Rob's a punk. So even if she did allegedly choke him with the iPhone charger cable, I'm like, you had it coming, kid.
Getting a whole new perspective on this.
Could you check some? This is an Android charger. I guess you could. Yeah, you could. Yeah,
I think from behind. Yeah,
damage.
I'm still, but you brought up a good point about the 6 feet. Like that's like I was at Home Depot yesterday with these like 8-foot long fluorescent bulbs, and they're light, but they're just unwieldy. You don't know where each end is, so you're just kind of hitting things left and right.
Yeah, and then like when you just illustrated the cable, the cord. Yeah. She is barely 5 feet. Rob is 6 something. She weighs a certain amount. She weighs under she may weigh like 100, 130, maybe. Rob weighs a little bit more than that. I cannot see her getting the drop on Rob.
I'm interested in Rob just hangs out in his house. What does he just have money? He's got like family money.
He's a Kardashian.
Yeah, like he says that.
What did they divide it out? You know,
they say he just suffers from depression, and he has issues with his body because he gained a lot of weight over the years, so he doesn't leave his house. So he just stays home all day.
Yeah, and they have a lot of money. You know, they have a lot of money.
They got a lot. Like Rob's not hurting for money.
No, not at all.
Okay,
not at all. Well, thank you, Kurt. Another Blac Chyna report. All right.
Wait, before we go, I just want to, since Jillian is here and you're a daytime expert, what's the deal with Ellen? So is Ellen actually evil, or what? Is she just got a bad rap? Yeah, she is.
Yes.
Wow.
That's not one or two. That's been like let's put it this way. It's been like a secret, but not a secret. You get what I mean? People know it. They just don't say anything about it because she's Ellen. But it's very well known that she is, she's not a nice person.
Yeah.
And I think there are 2 camps of people when it comes to, or 3 camps of people. There are the people that don't believe it. That there are the people that know about it and treat it like, she's a big star and there's a lot of pressure to your job, whatever. And then there are people that are like, no, she's an a-hole and everyone's kind of known it all along.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, my friend was the waiter that she tried to get fired from Real Food Daily for having the chipped nail polish. That was my friend Chris.
She had a problem with chipped nail polish?
Yes. And my friend, to fuck her over, went to the tabloids about it.
Chipped nail polish. She said, I don't want someone serving me with.
So it was like
chipped nail polish?
Yeah, so it was like late night. My friend had worked a double, so she had worked like all day. She served Ellen and Portia, and then she said the next day her boss called her in and said that Ellen wrote an email complaining about her chipped nail polish and wanted her fired.
Who has the time to do this? Imagine. Well, I'm home from the restaurant. Time to write a little email.
Well,
she had chipped nail polish. I'm like, I've never seen Ellen as some fashionista or some beauty bad bitch. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see it. Like, she has the CoverGirl endorsements because she's Ellen, but I don't see Ellen when she goes out with the full set of nails. So I'm like, really, girl? You're tripping about chipped nails?
I wonder if rather than that being a fashion thing, like it looks nasty, in her mind, it's where did that chip go? Is it in my salad? This isn't a defense. I'm just wondering out loud if maybe that explains this particular instance.
I would just try to put that on my mind rather than she's got to go to the restaurant site, look up with an email address.
No, she knew the owner. So she went to the owner.
How hard are you staring at that person's polish? Like, who are you? Joan Crawford with the wire hangers?
All right, everybody. Let's get down to business. Christmas in Salem. All right.
I believe it was Days of Our Lives, A Very Salem Christmas.
Yes.
You can believe.
And I did love the part. Where the Christmas tree was in the hourglass. That was cute.
Yeah, I was like, look at y'all. Y'all are just gonna keep that going.
They had the tree in the hourglass, and they had Santa's sleigh like flying behind the hourglass in the sky.
It was cute.
Right. So we start out with cute Sunny. Because just so you guys know, so this is the second actor to play Sunny. And so my friend Mark and I call him Cute Sunny because the other Sunny wasn't
no shade, but that's what they do.
So we see Cute Sunny.
Okay.
And then we see Will walk in, and you guys recognize him from the one time travel movie, don't you?
Yes.
No, I didn't recognize him. The one that we liked?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So he walks in and Will tells Sunny, "Oh my gosh, I've got to write a story because I wrote an article for a streaming service about the Alamanian Peacock, which is what the last special was about. They were searching for the jewels for the Alamanian Peacock."
I just thought that was such a ridiculous line of dialogue because it's like the hugest wink towards what this cash grab special is.
It's an homage to themselves.
He's talking about a streaming service, and he's talking about peacocks. I mean, they may as well just put their hands on each side of their eye and just pushed it shut like that.
Yeah.
But they saved the world because of all the jewels.
Already, it seems like this was written as like a school assignment, and I'm not talking about upper level school.
What would the assignment be, Kurt?
Write the shittiest movie you could possibly write.
So, Jillian, what were you thinking so far?
So far, I thought, it sounded like a typical Christmas movie when they were going over the elements, but when you saw it play out, when they used elements from things from the show's history, I thought, okay, that was clever.
Right.
The Sydney aspect.
Right. Because, and like I was saying, it was, if you watched the show, you totally got everything. Right. Like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Well, this is why I asked earlier, like, who is this for? Because if if it's not following the storyline of the regular show, and it's not quite a Christmas movie because they get into some elements later in the movie that are like, oh, that would never happen on Hallmark, and probably not even in a Lifetime holiday movie. Who is this for?
I think the film was for Days diehards who they just wanted to have like a little feel good movie for, because clearly, like you said, this isn't for people who just tuning in, they wouldn't get some of the things. Like, prime example, like Sammy and EJ, they would not get that. Like, if they tuned out a few years ago, yeah, they probably would get it, but someone brand new would not get that element. Like, Sammy and EJ did go down. Like, Sammy and EJ do have a child named Sydney together that Nicole swapped out. That did happen, but she's not, like, Sammy found out when the baby was like almost a year old. She didn't find out when this girl was like in pigtail.
Right.
So people who haven't watched that wouldn't catch that element. They wouldn't catch that beat.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So then, Will starts writing his Christmas movie and Sunny's helping him out. And so we start out with Allie and Chanel selling Sweet Bits cookies, which that's currently happening. They own like bakery. And Then we see Gabby and Nick. Now, you guys don't know that the character of Nick is dead. And the reason why he's dead is because he tried to attack Gabby, and Gabby killed him and went to prison for it.
Wait, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So we're taking these characters with this horrific history, and we're putting them in a fuzzy feel-good holiday movie.
That is why I feel as though that's why Sonny is just like when you see it play out, Sonny is like, wait a minute, you have Nick back after all the things he did, and they give you a little rundown. So if you're not familiar with Nick, you're like, oh, this is why this can't happen.
Right. Now, you guys, one of the things, though, that you do have to know is Nick did come back for Halloween as a zombie because Marlena brought him back from the dead.
Oh my gosh.
He did.
I should be embarrassed.
Why? Why should we be embarrassed?
Because this is ridiculous.
Oh, I mean, think about it this way. I mean, people watch The Walking Dead.
Yeah, but that's kind of
Look, we've seen some ridiculous things in these Lifetime and Hallmark movies
though.
too.
That's a smart, that's a smart, well done show though. At least I haven't watched the last couple of years, but yeah.
Well, he came back.
All right, I'll hang in there.
So then we see Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole's a bitch, but Nicole was a bitch when she first came on the show, and she's like been softened and she's nice. And to be quite honest, I'd rather Nicole be the bitch that she was.
Yeah, I don't like movie. Yeah, she was always crying for a while. I'm like, I didn't mind bitch-tastic Nicole.
And then we see Sammy. She's working at the pub, which would never happen.
No.
And I've told you guys about Sammy before. Sammy, remember the one?
She shot someone in the face.
No, she shot their balls off.
Oh, no. Yeah, I do remember that.
And she's Miss Hallmark, the actress that played her she is like Mrs. Hallmark.
Yeah, Allison Sweeney.
Her movies.
Is she the older woman? Is that who she is?
No, the younger woman. She was the one in Murder, She Baked.
She was the one working in the younger of the two women working in the bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I know who she is. Yeah.
And we've seen her in quite a few movies. And so, but on Days of Our Lives, she would not be working behind the bar. Sorry, she wouldn't.
No.
She's a very rich woman, and she's like the baddest bitch on the show. So. But then she's working at the bar with Marlena, her mother, who at the time, well, she's not possessed by the devil anymore, but she was. So Sammy hates Christmas because Roman is dead, who on the real show, he's not dead. He's very far from dead.
Maybe he should be, though.
I don't like Roman.
Not with all that yelling that he does. I'm like, we can be right here. Like, you can be right here with Roman, and he's, and you're like, calm down. Like, turn it down a notch, dude.
So Sammy says that she hates Christmas because it's too materialistic, which I was like, oh, that's rich coming from you. Sammy is a very rich woman. As a matter of fact, she stole nearly $1 billion from her husband's family. So she's very rich. So,
well,
then, what?
Didn't they miss the money at all? Or?
Yeah, they totally missed the money, but she didn't give a shit. She's like,
they missed the money. They wanted it back, and she was just like,
yeah. She's like, fuck you. I'm keeping it. I kept it. And she's like, and I dare you to come after me. She's a very tough woman.
I feel like there are legal mechanisms to get that amount of money out of the wrong hands.
Well,
I think. Yeah.
But Sammy's a very smart woman. Sammy's good at switching paternity tests. She, she went undercover as a man for a while, so she's very slick.
They get suspicious at the bank when you just walk in with $1 billion. Some red flags go up.
She didn't put it in a bank.
She hacked their accounts.
Yeah.
Well, it's in at least 21st century and had her hack accounts.
Yes.
That's impressive.
So
She needs to put those skills on her LinkedIn.
No.
right. So then EJ shows up. So she and EJ are going through a divorce right now. Well, actually, no. She's been kidnapped for months, but she's back now. And just so and this is going to really drive Kurt crazy. So on the show, she has a set of twins, but the twins had two different fathers because she slept with two guys. So one of the twins has one dad, and one of the twins has another dad.
I don't think that's possible.
Actually, it is.
No.
It is because this woman.
No, it's not.
She had it is. She had a black twin. She had a black baby and a white baby. I'm totally serious. I shit you
Jillian,
not.
you know that's not.
Biologically, that's not
really
possible.
happen.
Let's put it this way. It's very, very, very
Don't
rare.
say where.
But they do tell you, this is why they tell you, if like you're a surrogate or something, do not have sex within that time frame that you're trying to like get pregnant. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay,
Because
but-
when I saw it on TV, I'm like, no, no. Who's hacking my computer? Or who's hacked my TV? So I'm
Wait.
like, no.
Someone has a surrogate, so they're pregnant with a surrogate. A sperm comes in, infiltrates.
Yeah,
And they
that's
have-
not pregnant
yeah.
again?
Well, that's a different situation, though. That means that somebody else is the father versus you can't have two different people inseminating
you
the
can't.
same person.
No, you can. I'm
Les.
serious. Google it. I swear to you.
All right, well,
Because I Googled it.
But then biologically, that means they're not twins. They don't share DNA from the same two
because
people.
you get
No, they have the
pregnant
same mother.
once.
No, they
You
have
don't-
the same mother, but two different fathers. And they were born at the same time. They're fraternal twins, but they're twins.
They're just related and happen to be born around the same time.
Oh, no, they were born
Yeah.
at the same time.
They're Irish twins. They're born within the same year.
Confusing
They're born at the
conversation.
same time.
All right, sure. Guys, that's ridiculous. But all right, you guys are really into the show.
Trust me, I Googled it.
No, you know what I saw.
Les.
You know when I saw this play out, it was on Good Morning America because
I'm gonna look this up.
woman did not want the like. She had a different colored child.
Yeah.
The woman did not. The woman was like, "No, we don't want her." When she told them that she's having twins, they were like, "No, we just want our twin. We don't want this one."
Oh my God! Listen to this. All right, so I just looked this up. In rare cases, fraternal twins can be born from two different fathers
And I said,
in a phenomenon called, oh, get ready for this, heteropaternal superfecundation. Although uncommon, rare cases haven't documented where a woman is pregnant by two different men at the same time. Really?
"Yeah."
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I get. Okay. I still don't believe it.
Listen, when it played out on TV, of course, I'm like, "This is stupid. This is ridiculous." But then when you see news reports popping up, I'm like, I'm like, am I being punked? Because I'm like, I didn't learn this in bio. I didn't know this in biology. I'm like, maybe I fell asleep that day, but nobody told me about this in biology class. So,
Really bizarre. All right.
And that rabbit hole that we went down isn't even part of this movie. Am I correct?
So then
What else am I going to learn?
So then we go to the Salem Inn, where we see John Black, and he's married to Kristen, which is another. Okay, so Kristen is like evil. And speaking of babies, Kristen once had a woman kidnapped, and she took her baby and put it in herself and had the baby at like 60.
All right.
why you gotta put her age out like that? You're like, at 60.
Well, it's impressive. She had a baby at 60. It's just it's just layers of things that don't make sense.
Now, what they're doing on the show right now, okay.
Now, is that something that can happen? Can somebody take a baby out of someone else and put them inside and then have the baby that says, "Is my baby"? I don't even want to know.
So what is kind of shady right now, I think, is so this actress played the part of Kristen, and then she went on to other things. She's also on Young and the Restless, and they have another actress playing her. But whenever the devil was like fucking with them, so whenever the devil was fucking with them and seduction scenes would happen, this actress who was on this show comes and does all the seduction scenes.
So they basically use a, like, what the producers feel is more like sexually desirable person for the sexier scenes, and then they use a different actor for different scenarios?
I mean, you could take it that way, but I feel as though what they did was they paid homage to the fans, because during the devil possession, Eileen was there. And so you can't, if you're going to revisit that, you got to have all the players in place. And the woman who's playing the role now, they still love her, but they don't want to make it like a, hey girl, our good friend is back, so fuck you. We'll call you later, and then call her back to be like, yeah, she's gone, but you could come back. Like, they kind of like split it in two.
I am going to start a new temp agency for soap operas, where I just supply like fill-in actors for days when your actor wants to go do another project or whatever, or you need someone to be in the sexier scenes, or like you want somebody else to abduct a baby, whatever it is. My service will cover all those bases.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
So the joke in this is these two characters on the other show like hate each other. Like, they totally hate each other, and they have all this history. And
she and John, you mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because she got pregnant and she tried to pass a baby off as his. Then, just recently the devil had him locked up in a crypt, and so there were seduction scenes going on, and that's when she would come and try to seduce him.
Why's
So
devil involved with these people?
because the devil was in Salem. And the devil's still there.
I mean, they're in Salem, where the witch trials were, Kurt.
All right. I'm just trying to, understand.
So then we cut to back to Sunny and Will, and I did like when Sunny was like, "Who the hell are you trolling with this? Why are you trolling your family?" Right? And then we see dumb Brady. He is dumb, and he's still dumb on this show too.
Well, they kept that in character, so
yeah, because he's dumb. And then,
so having never seen this actor on this show before, is the character written as dumb, or is it just performative?
No, he's written as dumb.
No, he's just written stupid.
But I feel like it's and I see that as a compliment to the writers, or to yeah.
Hmm.
So
saying he was a very good actor.
So then we have Chanel, but Chanel is with Trip, which they are not together on the show. As a matter of fact, Trip is with Allie, who Chanel, it's a whole mess. But I guess I have a feeling Allie and Chanel are going to become a couple very soon. But
yeah.
And then but okay, so on this, Gabby actually has a crush on Brady. Now, Jillian, on the real show, were Gabby and Brady ever a couple?
No.
Okay. So then little Sydney comes into the pub. Sammy gives her a homemade ornament, which once again cracked me up because Sammy wouldn't make homemade anything.
No.
And then Nicole was like, no, we're not having it. And then all of a sudden, everybody in the town gets an eviction notice.
Yeah, they say, what the heck is this?
Everybody. Chanel and Allie, John Black, Marlena and Sammy. And we find out that the eviction notice was given by someone who we love in this podcast, Jackee.
She calls the guy Mary.
Which actually works because Jackee's in a lot of Hallmark movies, like a lot of them.
Yeah, Hallmark and Lifetime.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was leaning into the playing off of her persona. I don't know if she does that normally on Days, but for this movie, they were leaning into it.
Yeah. They really wanted her to say, like, they really wanted her to go old school and be like, Mary. I'm like, you can tell Jackee is just like, no, I'm not doing that.
Now, on the show, on Days of Our Lives, they have it set up so that the woman who played Mary on 227 is her mother on Days of Our Lives.
Oh,
really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Marla Gibbs?
Yeah.
Marla Gibbs is on Days of Our Lives as her mother.
Okay.
Yeah, and they live in penthouse 227.
Jeez. Now, what is her role? What is Jackee's role on the show? Is that the part she usually is?
Well, they took elements, again, they're taking elements from the show. Jackee is a rich real estate developer. She did try to buy up everything in town and change it over. She fell in love with someone who found out, and she was outed for it, and she changed her mind afterwards because the person she fell in love with dumped her. So she was just like, okay, maybe that wasn't a good idea.
I did like making her the Scrooge of this movie. I did like that as a choice because it was fun to watch.
It was cute.
And so she's the assistant. And who is her assistant but my favorite character, Leo Stark. Now, on Days of Our Lives, he's still gay, but he's pretty evil. But he's good. But he's fun evil. Like, he's fun. Don't you think, Jillian? Like, he's
yes. Oh, I love him. Like, he's not the, how shows have gays as the, the kind and, give good advice, good gay. They don't have you as a bitchy gay person. Or on some soaps, the black characters are kind and earnest and give you good advice. They don't have us being bitches and assholes.
Right.
Lean into it.
He's so bitchy that he tries to, on the real show, he'll try to blackmail straight guys into sleeping with it.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So it's like the real gay community. Got it.
Oh,
is that what happens? Boy, this has been a real learning experience for me.
So she kept on calling Leo Mary. Leo
Mary.
was wearing outlandish suits, which that's pretty much the same.
that's in character.
And then we find out that Chanel doesn't want the bakery anymore, which is not like the show. And then we also
Did we see the point where Jackee was told by Mary that the land is protected, and she throws a ball in his face and then hands him a suitcase full of money?
Well, no wonder people are getting money stolen from them. They're just walking around with suitcases full of it.
I mean, Sammy's got $1 billion that she didn't even go into a bank to get.
No, it's in suitcases. Oh no, she got it wired.
So we find out that Kristen and Brady are totally having an affair, which is true.
Okay.
Which is true on the show. Not only
That's when he walks in and he says he's got a gift for her, and here, you want to unwrap the gift? And she pulls up his shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's true on the show. They were a couple. But now she's on the run. Like, they have a kid together and everything. But yeah, she broke out of prison and she's at an undisclosed location. And when she makes a phone call on Days of Our Lives, they do put an undisclosed location.
Yeah, that cracks me up.
Heavy-handed.
I love stuff like that.
So, Kristen and Brady are having sex. Marlena is missing Roman. And you could tell that John has a crush on Marlena, which, on The Real Show, that's pretty much, they're a couple on The Real Show. And, you know, the whole reason why Sammy is the bitch that she is because Marlena was married to Roman, but was having an affair with John Black, and Sammy caught them having sex on a table. And then that, like, freaked Sammy out, and she became evil.
What kind of table?
Yeah, I think it's probably pretty strong.
A conference room table, honey.
Like
kind
a
of table?
The
boardroom.
best
Oh, a conference room one.
table.
Okay.
Yes, the best kind.
Yeah,
Well,
I
did
just
they
want
list-
to because
did they
I mean,
move
was it a? I
pastries
wanted
out
to
of the
know, was
way?
it a coffee table or like a big oak, like heavy thing, or you know, like one of those folding tables? I don't know.
No, it's a big conference room table.
I'm gonna make a note.
Yeah. And then Marlena got pregnant, and Sammy got pissed and tried to sell her sister on the black market. So,
These people are
so then,
cold.
you know, Jackee basically shows up and threatens everybody and is like, you need to be out of here by Christmas. And then Leo bumps into Xander, who is a nerd. And Leo is immediately smitten with Xander, which on The Real Show is true. And he's the straight guy that Leo tries to blackmail into sleeping with him. So-
Xander was the guy who was like the town official guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
He looked like a young Billy Zane.
Oh yeah, a little bit. I see that.
Yeah.
With like a hint of Jeff Goldblum.
But then, like, you know, Leo did tricks. Like, Leo once made it try to look like they got really drunk and did sleep together. So he's always after this guy.
So
that's pretty much our
Xander's
point.
straight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yes.
Jason has his doubts.
I'm just saying. I saw the same movie you guys did.
Well,
So then EJ is lecturing Nicole about the
Daly.
Christmas spirit, which once again I would like, oh, that's rich coming from you, because on The Real Show he's very evil.
well, evil people can celebrate Christmas. Christmas is for everyone.
Right. So then in the diner, Nicole's mad because Sammy made Sydney carbs. She was.
I know. It's just funny when you say it out loud.
And then we see the young people in Salem, but on the show, the four young people, actually on The Real Show, the couples are different. So both couples are actually kind of with the opposite people.
So the way this movie starts is what's actually with the couplings is actually what's going on in the show.
Right.
Yeah.
But actually,
Or no, I'm sorry. The way this movie
The reverse.
ends is what's actually going on in the show.
Right. Yeah.
right. But now what's going on in the show is, so Johnny, the guy that's with Chanel, the African-American girl, he's now possessed by the devil. So
this
he
devil really
married
makes
her.
the rounds.
Devil's
It's
still
contagious.
there.
It's like
Devil's in
COVID.
Salem.
It's like a pandemic.
It's
Yeah.
yeah,
They got
everyone's
married.
getting it.
The pandemic
married.
is the devil.
Damn.
Right? The pandemic is the devil.
I
So
have another reason not to leave the house.
So they got married, but he just dumped her at their wedding reception because he's possessed. And then Jackee was going to punch him, and then a chandelier almost fell on Jackee. That's what happened this week.
Protect her.
No, Jackee must be protected
Yeah.
at all costs.
Huh.
so then, what else happened? Oh, so then, you know, Gabby's in love with Brady. Nick's in love with Gabby. And this one kind of just disturbed me a little bit when you know what happened on the real show.
That was a little like, yeah, I was really feeling that.
Yeah, that was a little disturbing. So then, you know, they're doing the Hallmark thing, like they're having a cookie decorating contest, which they always have on Hallmark. You know, Brady's, you know, having angst over Kristen, which happens on the Hallmark movies. Gabby's giving him advice. Jackee leaves Mary in the office alone, and he's supposed to send everybody an email, but he's up to shenanigans. And
looks like he's skipped ahead quite a bit. Which is all right.
What did I miss?
I don't know. It's okay that you skipped ahead.
I am having trouble. I was having trouble following the movie in general because there were, unlike most of the movies we watch where all the characters are new to us, this movie was packed with characters, so it was a lot to follow anyway. And because you guys are familiar, you're kind of like, oh yeah, we saw this, and I'm like, I don't know where we are.
Well, yeah, I was trying to watch it like as a. I don't know any of these characters, so I was just trying to follow along. It wasn't really like a real movie. There wasn't really any kind of. It wasn't like a 3-act structure or 4-act structure to it. It was just kind of almost like, I don't know. There wasn't much to it, I guess.
So, So you could tell that Sydney and Sammy have this bond, right? And Marlena is pining away for John Black. And then we find out that Kristen isn't into John. Like, they're together, but she's not into him at all. She's into Brady. And then we're in the pub, and so the 4 young people, they're all in the pub, they're at this cookie decorating contest, and Marlena to the young people is like, hey, you know, maybe you should switch partners, right? And
that's just a weird thing to say. And her motivation was that they're cookies. She was judging the cookies. She said, well, your cookie looks like her cookie, so you should be together.
Right.
I don't think she meant for them to be together. I think that was just like that
was a wink,
I guess. Yeah.
Oh,
to just be like, maybe you should switch partners. Like, you know how Hallmark does those, right. You know, maybe Mr. Right is right under your nose. Something cheesy like that.
What I took it as, knowing what I know now, it was a wink to the audience of like, hey, we know on the real show the couples are switched, so we're going to fix that in a few minutes.
Now, what I forgot to mention is now, after she got dumped, the 2 girls have been secretly in love with each other the entire time. Oh. So the 2 girls are going to end up hooking up.
Okay, good.
So,
good for them.
So then everybody's like stressing out about losing their businesses, but then all of a sudden Sammy gets a text saying that I know of a loophole and I can save the business. And then Sammy says, oh, I have an idea of how we could save the business. And then they have a talent show, which is basically Hallmark. That's the shit that Hallmark does.
Mm-hmm. But not like this talent show.
No. This would not be on Hallmark.
No.
And frankly, in a regular Lifetime movie, yes. But in a Lifetime holiday movie, they would not do this talent show. Because Lifetime holiday movies are just as schmaltzy as Hallmark.
So
maybe like, do they kiss like at the end, like a Hallmark? Oh God.
And Jillian, like, because we've interviewed Hallmark writers, and that is actually a rule. I didn't know about any, like, Hallmark is changing its brand a little bit, but before that was a rule. They couldn't kiss until the end.
I mean, you could see, like, they would be so close, the tension, and then they walk away. And then at the end of a Hallmark movie, you either get a peck on the cheek or a great big old hug. And I'm just like, what? After all of this, you're just going to give them a hug? Like, what the hell?
No, they kiss, but it has to be earned. So sometimes they will kiss earlier, but only if they're people that aren't in other relationships with other people. And it's got to be like we saw the actual path that took them to that kiss.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Most of the time it's interrupted, though. Like, they almost kiss.
Yes.
Right. So the drag show was actually a wink, wink, nod, nod to the Beyond Salem miniseries.
You missed a big beat that I feel like being that I like shirtlessness on in these movies. The guy that was Love Actuallying it.
So what did I miss?
I don't even remember his character. Wait, the guy with the big Brady.
Brady.
Yeah.
Brady Black.
It shows up to Kristen while John's in the next room, and he's naked. Which I don't remember the guy being naked in Love Actually. I didn't like the movie, but I don't remember that in the movie.
You didn't like Love Actually?
No, it's a fucking piece of trash movie, and I will fight you to the death over that.
Oh, I'm not going to fight over it.
Okay. I just know other people have strong opinions in the other direction, and I will stand my ground on this one.
Well, no, because I like The Holiday better anyway.
I've never seen The Holiday.
I have not seen it.
But I think I would like it better.
I've never seen it either.
Have you seen The Holiday, Jillian?
No. It's The Holiday.
It's Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet switch houses. So then Cameron Diaz goes to the Cotswolds in the UK, and then Kate Winslet comes to LA. And then it ends with, Cameron Diaz ends up hooking up with Jude Law, and Kate Winslet hooks up with Jack Black. Yeah.
Jillian's face just now. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
He makes her laugh, just like when they asked Jessica Rabbit why she liked Roger Rabbit. She said he makes me laugh.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and that's right. When Brady was doing the Love Actually, I like the fact that they had it to Oh Holy Night.
Yeah. Like a really slow version of Oh Holy Night, but he's there naked. And I did like the mixing of this like warm and fuzzy, almost religious Hallmark moment, and he's naked.
Yes.
It's cold in, December.
So the drag show was like a wink, wink, nod, nod to the Beyond Salem, because in Beyond Salem, they ended up at a drag bar and did a drag number. And I love the fact that they brought back Chad only to do the drag number.
Yeah, I was like, is that Chad? And I'm like, I guess it was.
And I love the drag name Amanda Bond. Love that drag name. So they do their drag number, which was not bad, and then they had a Santa stripper number, which was also not bad.
Yeah, it was great.
Bad, but it wasn't good.
Thank you.
Let's put it that way. They did not have any rhythm,
but
beat.
But it was closer to what you might see in a pageant such as this. It would look, under rehearsed and.
Like I said, they were off beat and they did not have any rhythm. That's what that was. Because I'm just like, okay, I thought it was cute, and I'm like, oh, you are just missing your beat, honeys. Like, what are you doing? Oof.
It was only redeemed by the shirtlessness.
Yeah.
But I did notice and was very surprised that Nick has very good abs.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree, because when I saw him at the beginning of the movie, I did not think he would have abs like that. So I agree with you.
Now, Jillian, do you think they're going to end up bringing him back to the show?
No, I wish. like, well, this is Ron, so you never know.
Right.
You could be decapitated and Ron will be like, here you are. No, but I don't think they'll bring him back. I do believe that show realizes they made a big faux pas, if you will, killing him off. Because the actor has been like, he's a good actor. He ain't bad to look at with the abs either. So I think they realize, and this is like their way of like trying to like slip him back in there without fans being like, isn't he dead?
Because you guys, there is a serum that you can get a shot and it will bring you back from the dead.
Okay.
Is this actual science that you saw on Google, like the baby thing, or is this like a Days of Our Lives?
Don't you make fun of us with that baby thing? He read the thing too.
I'm not denying that it's true. I may be wrong, but I'm asking: is this like real science, or is this Days of Our Lives science?
You dead. I mean, if that was the case, a lot of undead people would be walking around. I kind of would be nervous. I wouldn't go into real.
Jason, did you think that was real?
I mean,
think it was serum?
I didn't think it was real that you could have two babies as twins from two different dads.
Well,
I mean, that is one of
you can kind of bring someone back to life. People can, they say someone that dies on the operating table. They don't really die, but they might.
Well,
their heart
that's what you bringing them back out, like
they get their heart going again.
Yeah, but you can't let's just put it this way. You can't shoot Les, and Les is like, ooh, I'm dead. You can't go and give him serum and say, walk it off, Les. Like, we can't do that.
So,
because some of these people had been dead for a couple of years.
And then they give the serum. Well, that's implausible.
Yeah.
So then Gabby realizes that she's in love with Nick, which is once again I found kind of disturbing because in the real show, like she murdered him because he was trying to attack her. So that was kind of disturbing.
Let's call it here. He was trying to rape her.
Yes, he was trying to rape her.
Yes.
Before, like, I need to back up just for what may possibly be the best line. I need some serum. What may be the best line of dialogue in any movie that we have ever seen, and it was delivered by our queen Jackee. Do you know what line I'm talking about? They cut after the big talent show. Jackee is mad at Mary, and she says this:
"That wasn't so humiliating. My plans foiled by a drag show of all things."
Damn. See, she underplayed it too much. Hey, here, I found this online. This is a Pace Skincare. Our Back to Life Face Serum is your best friend if you experience dehydration and dullness. So they do call it Back to Life Serum.
It brings your skin back. So
it's specifically formulated for sensitive and eczema-prone skin. And if you've been dead for a couple years, our serum can bring you back.
I got to tell you, some of those people that came back from the dead looked great.
I think they use this.
They got a hit of that serum, or I don't know why Death Becomes Her just pops into my mind. That film, I love that film.
I remember.
I'm a girl. But then weren't they like porcelain though?
I don't know what they were after a while.
I just remember with Death Becomes Her the part where Meryl Streep's butt goes like
or when they're like fighting outside the church and they hit the ground and they're in pieces.
Yes. And they get like, didn't somebody burn a hole in someone's stomach or something?
I think it's Goldie Hawn has a hole in her stomach.
Yes. And she's like, I just got to make a phone call real quick. And I'm like, you got a hole in your stomach, girl. Who you calling?
So they raised all the money. The drag show and the strippers helped them raise all the money that they needed. And Kristen realizes that she's in love with Brady. And then, like every Hallmark movie, it snowed.
Yeah, and the guy said, "Isn't there a roof?
I know.
Is there a ceiling?" What? I was thinking the same thing.
And then, so then we find out that Nicole switched the babies, which she really did on the show.
This scene was wild.
You know what? That is a part of what happened. Like, but it was a little bit more dramatic because when Sammy found out, she's like, she hauled off and slapped the shit out of her.
It was what, because like I knew, okay, this must be something from the regular daily soap, and even knowing that, I'm like, it feels so out of place in this otherwise warm and fuzzy holiday movie that she's like, oh, you abducted my baby and just slapping her.
It's kind of jarring.
Those two fought over EJ like cats and dogs. EJ has always loved Sammy. In order to keep EJ, Nicole got pregnant and she lost her baby. And in order to keep EJ, you know how they do. She went to go fake her pregnancy, after going to go get her nails done. After Ellen criticized her chip nail polish, she went to go get her nails done, just stop off and go do that. And what she did was she did swap. She was adopting a baby and was going to pass it off as EJ's. And she swapped that baby when she found out that Sammy was pregnant and was about to give birth. She swapped that baby with Sammy so she could actually have EJ's child. And that baby did die. So this the movie kind of gives you like a wink to what happened, because when Sammy found out that Nicole swapped the babies, Nicole was like, no, that's not your baby. And Sammy, that's one thing about her. She rich, broke, whatever. Sammy likes to fight. Like, maybe she's a Philly girl. I don't know. But he likes to throw hands. She hauls off, and I think she punches her, and she's like, tell me that's my child. And Nicole's like, she's my child. She's your child. So that did happen.
Right, so that was pretty much on point.
I also loved that this acknowledgement happens, and then the next scene with Sammy and EJ and Sydney, it's like Sydney's just like, oh, this is your new mom, and Sydney has no reaction to the fact that she has just lost the woman that she has known as her mother her entire life.
I mean, listen. You deny me of carbs, I'll be like, bye, bitch. I don't care. Like, she denied that girl of those carbs. Like,
and we didn't mention this, but remember, she did tell that other woman, she said, I wish you were my mommy. So her wish came true.
She did. Yes. She did say that to Sammy.
Yeah.
Typical Hallmark, too. So, right. Except for the baby swap, but
So then we find out that Kristen and Jackee were in cahoots. But then that didn't go anywhere. We found out that they were in cahoots, but then that was pretty much it.
Well, you did find out why it went somewhere. Kristen just wanted the town to be bought out because country living was not her thing. Now, that is Kristen, too.
That is true.
Yeah, Kristen is a diva. Like, she's on the run. She'll be on the run with a full set of hair, makeup, nails, and you're like, you're on the run. How is your face beat? Like, when does this happen? You're supposed to be incognito.
Right.
So she doesn't want country living. So instead of moving out of the town, she wants to make that town less country.
Like, she doesn't want that little, like, that kitschy, whatever, the bed and breakfast. She's not into the bed and breakfast
She's
life.
in the wrong town.
Basically.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, yeah, she could move, but I guess she saves on moving expenses.
I mean, she's basically moved into a McDonald's, says that she doesn't like fast food, so she's going to fancy it up with a chandelier. That's her thinking, instead of just going to a nicer restaurant.
Pretty much.
Okay. So then Leo hits on Xander a little more, but then we find out Leo is the one that ended up saving the town, which this is the second time Leo has saved the day. Because in the last one, Leo saved the world. And this one, he saved the town.
Okay. Well, I guess he saved the town last time. It's part of the world, so
Well,
So he saved the town twice.
because he stole one of the Almanian jewels.
Oh my.
And then, they had a Christmas brunch, which I like brunch.
Yeah.
And then, Chanel and Paulina make up. EJ and Sammy get together. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, Nicole starts praying. And there's a homeless man on the bench, which turns out to be Eric.
Now I was like, what the fuck? I thought, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that would have been Lucas. I thought maybe this is Lucas being a drunk again. I'm like, Eric is homeless?
Who is Eric? Because he wasn't in the rest of the movie. So again, as having never seen these characters before, it was really jarring to introduce a new character in the very last beat of the movie.
Okay.
Jillian, how would you explain Eric?
Eric is Nicole's real true love. Like, when Nicole came to town, they got together. That's her one true love. He also happens to be Sammy's twin brother.
Oh.
So, yeah. So it's a bad blood all around.
And so Sammy is really bad, but Eric is really good.
Yeah.
To the point that he was a priest for a while. Yeah. But then Kristen slept with him.
Did she really?
Didn't she?
No. She drugged him too.
Yes.
She drugged him, and you remember they played it in the church. Victor and Marlena had it played in the church.
Yep.
And Eric was like, "You raped me," and Brady was like, "No, she didn't," and beat him up in the church.
It just sounds like this Eric is very gullible.
Well, yeah. Eric just came back to the show because Eric was a priest, and so Eric is the one that did the exorcism to get the devil out of Marlena.
Oh boy, where was the devil during this show? I didn't see any devil.
It's Christmas.
Devil.
Well, all the other characters there. This devil seems like he's a regular character on the show. They could have had a nod to the devil.
Well, the devil possession is just a nod to history because around that time that they did the second one, that was around 25 years before is when they did that. And it shot days up in the charts with the...
That's why I started watching the show, because the devil...
When you get possessed by the devil, can you accomplish more? Do you have more? I'd imagine you have more energy.
Well, I guess it would depend on what you're trying to accomplish.
She did a lot.
If it's trying to do evil stuff, then you're going to be focused.
Right.
I'm trying to run hell. But I'd be able
to... I'm blessed and highly favored. So I don't know.
She got a lot done.
Well, I would think you would get really a big burst of energy being, possessed by the devil.
It's funny that you mentioned that because they were just talking about that the other day.
Yeah.
When Johnny was
people
having sex with Chanel multiple times. Do you think she's going to end up pregnant? You don't think?
No.
Because
she's nodding her head.
Because they were
I'm shaking my head.
Okay.
Because I was like, she made it a point to say that we had sex 3 times today. So
must be possessed by the devil. No man could do that.
Well, so then everything ended happily, and then Marlena and John ended up getting together. The end.
Oof.
So Jillian, thoughts?
I mean, it was a little schmaltzy. I will say that. This whole, we have to rally together to save the town. When, again, I watched the show, I'm like, none of this would be happening. John Black can buy and sell that town 10 times over. EJ can do it 50 times over. Sammy the same. So I'm like, this is just so schmaltzy. But, they had the Queen of Hallmark on there, so they have to take it to the Hallmark roots. But It was funny. I will say it was funny. Jackee and Greg Rickard, who played Mary, a.k.a. Leo, they have great comedic timing against each other. They were really funny. and they were cute together. I like that. So other than that, I mean, it's a cute little Christmas movie. Like, you can tell, this is just me, I don't know anything, but you can just tell that, I guess, Days did pretty what was it?
Beyond Salem.
Beyond Salem. You could tell Peacock Days did really well with the Peacock special, and Peacock was like, we want another one now, and this is where this is coming from, and it's happening around Christmas time. So,
I mean,
you feel good movie.
Because for me, since I watch it and I get the joke, I liked it a lot because I have a good wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and so I got the joke. But I get it if you've never seen it before and you didn't like it because it's not. Like, I think that they could have gone into detail about things more just for the lay person.
Yeah, I don't think they expected lay people to watch it.
Yeah. I think they're just trying to cram too much. Like, my theory on how they could have done this that would have worked for what the tone they were trying to set is take one of the romantic couples on Days, or a couple that's like, you can see the romance starting to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. Take them and make them the centerpiece of this movie and structure it like you would a Hallmark movie. All those same beats of like the meet cute and they don't really like each other, but they're forced to somehow work together on some big project as the town rallies around. But don't change the characters that are around them. In other words, like, Marlena should still be possessed and find a way to work that into that Hallmark structure. Sammy should still be a bitch and find a way to work that into that Hallmark structure.
I think obviously it's a movie that's fan service. And I think they just, either they could create an original thing or they could just do something for the
I think it would be
viewers.
I do think it would still be better fan service. Like, imagine the Hallmarky thing of like a cookie decorating contest, but then there's an all out slapping fight that breaks out because somebody stole someone's frosting.
Yeah, because if they made something that really did hold up on its own, they might get some people interested in watching the show. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe.
And that was my thought too, because I didn't know how you felt about Beyond Salem, Jillian, but I did think that the way that it was set up, that it brought new people into the new fans into the show. What did you think?
What about Beyond Salem? If they brought new fans,
or like this movie not being set up to bring in new fans. I thought that Beyond Salem, the way that it was set up, you could watch it, know nothing about the show, watch it, and then start watching the actual show because it was set up that way. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I think with Beyond Salem, it was like you had critics from the trade papers who were watching it. They did their whole thing. Oh, it's cheesy. It's camp. It's typical soap, blah, blah, blah. But they all said the same thing. For those of you who've tuned out, you can pick up right where you left off. For those of you who've never watched, you get a little backstory and they give you a little bit so it entices you to watch it. And that's what happened with people. Whereas this movie, clearly this was just like a Christmas present, so to speak, to fans.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So, Jillian, we have to have you back when we talk about a real
yes.
Hallmark movie.
Well, which one of them Hallmarks am I going to be watching, child? Because
actually, Allison Sweeney, did you guys know? So there's like a big Hallmark thing that's
it's like a
happening.
rep company.
Well, no, because it's going to be Allison Sweeney, Sammy, Lacey Chabert, and then another one of their Hallmark girls, and they're all
the Veil.
Yeah,
the Veil.
Yeah,
it's a trilogy.
Well, the first one just aired this weekend, didn't it?
Yes, the first one just aired this weekend. The next one is going to air, I think, in February. I think.
Well, what we should do, we should watch one of those, and then have you back and talk about that one, if you'd like.
I'm game. I'll do it.
All right, cool.
Yay!
Hey.
I like y'all. I'll do it.
Oh, thank you.
I mean,
thanks.
the veil seemed interesting. I mean, no shade against Sweeney, but I watched the little cupcake murder mysteries that she does, the baking murder mysteries. They're cute. This last one she did, I'm like, maybe you can just stick a fork in it because this is done. It wasn't good.
Murder she baked.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, any final thoughts?
No, I don't think so. I think that covers it.
Thank you so much for being on with us, Jillian. That was insightful.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
Jillian, where would we find you if you want to be found?
You can find me on Twitter, twitter.com/Jillian Bowe, and, blogging over at DC. Well, let me clarify, Daytime Confidential. I ain't blogging in DC with Blac Chyna and all them when they fucking fight me. I meant Daytime Confidential. Yeah, you can find me at daytimeconfidential.com as well.
And yes, definitely check Daytime Confidential out. If you are a soap fan, especially, it is. God, I think I've been listening to you guys for like 10 years or something crazy like that.
Yeah, we've been in the trenches.
It's literally my favorite podcast. So give it a listen. And if you want to find me, you can find me at my website, leskirkendallbarrett.com. I also have another podcast, The Reality Reading Rainbow, where I talk about books written by reality stars. And I try to make sense of those too. And the episode that's coming out this week, I actually interviewed Dave Quinn, who wrote the book, Not All Diamonds and Rose.
Okay.
And so I interviewed him this weekend, so that's coming out tonight, actually.
Okay, nice. I got to listen to that. He has been in the hot seat, honey, with that Housewives book. I need to buy it. I'm going to break down and buy it. Okay.
Yeah. Jason.
So my favorite podcast is a Lifetime of Hallmark podcast, is what you should be saying when you leave a 5-star review for us on whatever podcasting platform you listen to us on. Please leave us 5 stars. Helps other people find the show. You can find all of us on Instagram and Facebook at Lifetime of Hallmark Podcast. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Big Shot Jason. Kurt.
I'm always at kurtfitzpatrick.com. It's Kurt with a K. And that's it.
And I guess that's it. I gotta go run out to KFC because they have the vegan chickens out today.
That don't even sound natural. No, sir.
Nope. Hard pass.
Well, I'll let you know when I talk to you guys. So until next time, bye.
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 Bye.